Hi. So I saw on my channel and I got 10 subscribers. So I want to say thank you to you guys for that, by the way. That's it's very small, but I mean, you just imagine there's fucking 10 people who are like, you know what? I like this guy. I'm gonna subscribe to him. That's that's kind of nice, you know? Thank you guys for subscribing. And if you're new, welcome. I'm glad you found this video. Um, and I hope that you like it. Um, for all my videos, especially when it's just me speaking, I'm very fucking nervous. I mean, if you can't tell, I'm already fucking nervous. But um, but today, for my 10 sub special, I'm not going to talk about the book. I'm going to talk about the eventual movie adaptation of Animal Farm. And I'm specifically going to talk about the trailer, the 2025 trailer and the movie's going to come out in 2026. Um, First, right off the bat, if you've seen my other two videos, you may be wondering why I look like this. Uh, for most things, I try and give it a little, respect, as most media should be given respect because it's part of art and it should be both criticized and appreciated. The movie adaptation trailer should not be respected whatsoever. It does not follow the story or even try to reimagine it in a very good or faithful way. In the very beginning of the trailer itself, the Napoleon and the pigs can already read, which is very weird because in the book they cannot. They're able to read once they teach themselves how to read after they kicked out Farmer Jones. Um and uh and even before they kicked out Farmer Jones, I mean the pigs can already read. That doesn't make any sense. Especially when you take in consideration that this is supposed to be an allegory to the Russian Revolution. Most people in Russia during this time could not read, and only the powerful people could, which is why that's pretty important because the poor people started to try and read, and how the poor people who knew how to read tried to teach the other poor people how to read, but it didn't really work. It's at the beginning, it's kind of scuffed already. Um, the trailer itself is way too child friendly. I remember in my Animal Farm review, the book, the thing that should be respected, which I gave a 7 out of 10. I said in that video how a critique that I have is that how how it simplifies things a little too much and how this could easily be misconstrued. Um, Now I got the reasoning behind it wrong, but that fucking execution, I must be a prophet, okay? Because there is no way you can read Animal Farm and think, this is a very child-friendly book. Every grade level should read this. This is for E for everyone, obviously. PG, amazing. Yes, every child should see this. No, it's a very fucking dark book when you look at it. The revolution itself is, pretty dark. Farmer Jones is dark. Everybody's starving after the revolution, and totalitarianism rules. That's not something I'm gonna read to like a 5-year-old. Okay, it reminds me of uh how people look at animation and they're just like, oh, and all animation, it looks child friendly, therefore it is child friendly, which is not true. I mean, and I would not say Invincible is very child friendly when everybody's fucking body parts are being ripped apart massively. Um, they also dumbed down the language. Like in one of the rules, the commandments. In the book they have the commandments. If you need to learn more, look at my review about it. I talk about it. Um, Instead of saying no drinking alcohol, they say no drinking naughty juice. Now that's not too bad, but it just reinforces my point that this should not have been for children, because it's not. George Orwell himself did not want this to be in a child book section. And this is, like, if I had to give a demographic for people, I would say this is like for people my age. Like, I would say this is like maybe teenagers, early adults. Like, that's what I would give it, genuinely. Because it's too simplified for you to learn more, but at the same time, it gives you just enough to make you think and figure out what's going on. Um, During the whole entire trailer, there's pop music going around, and this is not the book where you're using pop music. Pop music is like, it's upbeat, it's jovial. The book is the complete opposite. Like, even when the animals kicked out Farmer Jones, which is supposed to be the highlight for all the animals, like the peak of their happiness. Um, they're not even like jovial. They're more like, what are we gonna do now? We just kicked out Farmer Jones, like, or do we just go through the motions? They're more curious and scared of the future than they are jovial about the present. So once they kicked out Farmer Jones with the terrible pop music, uh, and even though they recite all the commandments and say that two legs bad, four legs good, apparently humans can just go to the farm. That makes zero sense in both the book and in the trailer itself. Literally in the trailer itself, you got the sheep talking about two legs bad, four legs good. And then the next scene later, it's, ooh, the human's like, ooh, I never seen an animal only farm before. Ooh, that looks interesting. Ooh, point laugh. And like they pay a chicken money. What's the chicken gonna use that money for? What? I'm so confused. I'm so goddamn confused. I don't get it. So later in the trailer, you have Pilkington, which is supposed to represent the United Kingdom in the book. You got her in this version. It's a her, which is okay. Don't care. Uh, it frames it as if she's the main bad guy, which is another problem. You could say that all the humans are bad guys in the story, but they're not the main bad guys. I would say if there's bad guys in the story, it's gonna be Napoleon. And throughout this entire trailer, Napoleon is like this jovial guy who, like, this very nonsense type of guy who's very friendly, when he's literally an allegory to Joseph Stalin, a person who murdered more people than Adolf Hitler. Like, this is not the type of person that's supposed to be jolly and all fun, like, at all. Like, he's a very egomaniac person who wants to take total power for himself. Pretty sure that's the definition of megalomania. Like, he is a megalomaniac. Like, he kills his compatriots for more power. Like, this is not the guy you want to be jovial. So, when Napoleon and Pilkington meet, Napoleon's already wearing clothes, which, that's like a spoiler. I would say that's a spoiler for the movie. Because when he starts to wear clothes, it's a transformation from being an animal to being like a human. That's like the starting process. So, like, they just get so much stuff fucking wrong. Like, it's laughable. How do you get this much wrong in a trailer? Like, that takes a lot. And they even got Steve Buscemi in it, too. What? Why are you here, man? You're doing great. You don't need the money. What are you doing? You're a good actor. You didn't use your talents for better. Give me a minute. God damn. You know, when I first saw the trailer, I was fucking pissed. Now I'm just fucking sad and disappointed. That may actually be worse. It takes a lot for me to say you should not go to this movie. Like, you must have done something fucked up or missed the entire point, which they missed the entire point. Like, with Miss Pilkington, they made it seem like it's more of an anti-capitalist, anti-imperialist movie, when the book is an anti-Stalinist, aka a version of communism, so anti-communist and anti-totalitarianism book. Like, it's completely different things. When you know what's a good anti-capitalist message? You know what I would recommend for that? Squid Game. I would say Squid Game is a pretty good anti-capitalist show, despite the fact it is capitalist in nature because it's on Netflix, which is kind of funny to me. But I mean, it talks the whole message about that is how everybody's treated fucking horribly, and how people are worth more than capital, but rich people treat people as only capital, and how capital has actually made the rich people unhappy to the point where they dehumanize fucking everybody. You know, that is a good anti-capitalist message. You know? I'm not even anti-capitalist, otherwise I wouldn't have this YouTube channel. But yeah, that's what I would recommend for an anti-capitalist message. If you like that type of thing, it's even if you're like a very pro-capitalist, capitalism can do nothing wrong. It's a good show. It's a good show nonetheless. I mean, I love the first season. Second season was just like a lead up to the third, so it's okay. The third season has pretty good hit or miss things, but the ending where spoilers for the show, by the way, where Gihan dies and says we are worth more, is really powerful. That's powerful. If you want something like that, that's what I'd recommend if you have Netflix, which, you know, most of you probably don't, maybe, which is fine. You know, Netflix is pretty hit or miss. But then at the end of the Animal Farm trailer, they spoil the fucking whole messaging where they're like, where you get Napoleon saying all animals are equal, but more animals are more equal than others. Like, that's at the end of the fucking book. I don't know how you mess this up so fucking bad. How do you mess it up? Genuinely. It's 88 pages. You got me so confuzzled that my voice is cracking. My voice is fucking cracking. I need an explanation. Man, if you guys don't have an explanation, put it in the comments, please. Please, like, Orwell must be rolling in his grave, and he wasn't even like a capitalist. He was a socialist. He was a democratic socialist. You know, he criticized it too, but he would be rolling in his grave if that was what he saw his book being. They bastardized his book, man. Like, I feel fucking bad for him. When you do so fucking bad at a book like that, that the CIA did a better job at transferring this book into a movie, you done fucked it up. Like, I feel like I said all I need to say. I mean, thank you for watching. But wow. Like, it takes a lot for me to say don't watch this. Probably don't watch the movie. But here I am.